our favorite segment. I'm excited about this segment because this is the card of the week, guys. The card of the week. I have no idea what this card is. I don't know what game it's from. Jim has no idea what game this is from. I think this is like the this is the second time that we have no clue what it is. Dan, what is this week's card of the week? Give it to me. Let's hear it. What is it? What is it?
All right. The card of the week.
Over.
Let me, let me set it here. I had to turn my Discord off because I realized it was pinging me the whole time. So I'm sorry about that. I think this might have been coming through.
You're good.
But I'm popping it back on so I can send it to you here. So
cool.
Checking
it
for
looks
update.
like it's pot of greed.
I can draw 2 cards.
I draw 3 cards.
I have so much to say about this card, guys. You draw 2.
I play pot of greed.
You draw 2.
I summon pot of greed.
Some like to call this the original bill.
The original bill.
Is that like that joke lost on you guys? I'm not sure.
It.
Okay.
There's a Pokemon card that allowed you to draw.
Bill came first, of course, too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
A card I'm not familiar with. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a trainer card in Pokemon from original set.
Gotcha.
Let me copy the image and sorry. There we go. The image is coming in. Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
I've got it here. I'm sending it over to Jim right now. And guys, I'm sorry. This is taking a second. I just sent it to the wrong person. That's okay. We're gonna get it right over to Jim. Here we go.
We're doing it live.
This is literally the essence of we're doing it live, ladies and gentlemen.
I wasn't sure if you guys were just like cut this out or
no. We're doing it live, guys.
Dude,
I could have told a funny story.
It's a good card.
It is fast.
It is a good card. It is a good card. The card of the week is called Spirit Blade Ascension from Grand Archive, first set Dawn of Ashes. So I thought very hard about the card of the week that I was going to choose for you guys because I love this segment. I think it's just so fun. And I wanted to really get something that represented what I enjoy about card games. And this card also really shows off, I think, some of the interesting features of Grand Archive as well. So Spirit Blade Ascension is a Crux action. Crux is an advanced element in the game. A very unique part of the deck building system in this game is you choose a basic element, wind, water, or fire. And you may have a level 3 in your deck. You may not at level 3 champion. If you have a level 3 champion, your level 3 champion will also unlock an advanced element. It means that these cards, these advanced element cards, are the strongest cards in the game by cost. You're not going to get anything near their level of efficiency at the basic element or colorless tier of cards. So when you reach level 3, it means suddenly, Jim, like you were saying, you just go off. You get to just do some crazy stuff, play some crazy effects. And there are some decks in Grand Archive that their whole goal is they get to level 3 and then they go, okay, you have 1 turn to kill me. Otherwise, I'm going to draw 1,000,000 cards and just murder you next turn. So Spirit Blade Ascension is a Crux card, which means for both the Warrior Lorraine and the now Merlin, Merlin's a mage / warrior class. When she hits level 3 and she unlocks Crux as well, they can play this card and no other classes can, which makes their decks a little bit different than other decks that would be playing even the same elements. Spirit Blade Ascension costs 1 and it's played at fast speed, and it's an action, which means it acts like an instant. Basically, it's a fast speed action, so it's an instant from Magic. So it's a one-shot effect. This says, as an additional cost to activate this card, return a sword regalia you own to your material deck. So the idea is your Lorraine or your Merlin's going to come out. She's going to take a sword that she's holding to fight with. She's going to send it into the spirit realm and now choose a sword regalia from your material deck or banishment and put it on the field. A new sword appears in her hand instead. So with this card, you're able to swap a sword out for a different one you want, or, and this is the key, guys, you can swap the same sword out for that same sword again. And there are
cost. It's in the grave or whatever.
The key to this is that there are some swords that do things on enter. So this is actually a blink spell. And I don't know about you guys, but when I see blink effects in Magic, my heart gets racing because I love this nonsense of just, I'm going to absolutely abuse this effect.
So you like Sky Noodle.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Yorian's my language, man. Like, yeah,
It's a
let's go.
spirit animal.
Let's play 80 card decks with just all the control effects, and we're just gonna blink everything all day. It's so much fun, man. Come on, that's so awesome.
Blink all my planeswalkers, do it again.
Blinking planeswalkers is so dirty. Spirit Blade Ascension allows you to do some pretty crazy stuff. You get to this like some of our favorite decks, and this includes that Water Merlin deck as well that you're looking at. You get to level 3, and then you do some really, really wonky things, really grinding into like sort of the nuances of the game. When you get to that step where you take your memory back into your hand, you actually have priority before you do that. So what you can do is you materialize your level 3. Okay, so I just reached level 3. Wonderful. Let's say I have 3 cards in hand and I have 3 cards in my memory. Okay, so I get to my recollection step, which is when I normally take my memory back, but I say, hang on, I'm going to hold priority. I'm going to play Spirit Blade Ascension before I recollect. So I put a card down from my hand. I play the Spirit Blade from my hand. I bounce out my sword and back in my sword that says, draw 2 cards when it enters. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, that card's on the watch list, by the way. It might get banned. It probably should. Honestly, it's disgusting because then I go, okay,
draw 3 cards, Dan.
Yep. No, then I draw 2 cards, and I drew another Spirit Blade Ascension. So I go, oh, I'm going to play another Spirit Blade Ascension. Do it again. Draw 2 more cards. Now, keep in mind, every time I'm playing these, I'm putting cards down into my memory, right, to play them.
Yeah.
And then when I finally run out of
To
Spirit
get it
Blade
back,
Ascensions,
yeah.
I just pull the whole thing into my hand. I start my turn like, I guess I have 18 cards in hand now, or whatever.
So
if you
I
do
was
enough of them.
joking when I said Pot of Greed.
Yeah.
But
No,
you
I was
do it
actually
multiple
showing you Pot of
times.
Greed.
Multiple times and at instant speed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
Wow.
this seems absurd, and it kind of is, but this is where you get to this late stage in Grand Archive, and both decks, if they're reaching level 3, they're both kind of doing crazy things like this.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it gets into a very interesting headspace of how do I interact with my opponent's Spirit Blade Ascension? How do I stop them from doing this? Interesting things like the sword returning to your material deck is a cost, so you have to respond to the sword in play before they activate the Spirit Blade Ascension. You know, we're getting to like those like grindy comp rules. Like, wait, hang on, let me look at the comp rules and see how this works to understand it.
Right,
But that's what I'm
right.
saying. Like, if you're a competitive gamer, right? Like this is a start where you go, oh man, like I could really get people by just knowing how the rules work in this game, and you can.
Yeah. But at that point, if you try to, get rid of it, it's still, they can play this at instant speed to just throw it in the back and protect it. So, that's rough, man.
You want to answer it before they materialize. Before they go to level 3, you have to try and get rid of that sword. And there's a lot of decks. There's a lot of decks in the format. There's a lot of decks that are low to the ground. Like, okay, if the deck's just going to, if my opponent's just going to try to go to level 3 and go off, I just have to kill them before that.
Kill you before then.
Kill
Yep.
it before
And an
then.
interesting way that the game works is that, because it costs you more cards to materialize the higher levels, like you have to banish more cards from your memory to do that. The decks that are playing low to the ground, just like, I'm just going to go to level 1 and I'm going to sit there. Or actually, some decks just sit at level 0. They don't even necessarily care about like materializing any champion at all.
Yeah.
They never have to banish those extra cards to level. So by the time you're level 3, if I'm still level 1, I'm up 5 cards on you because I didn't materialize level 2 or level 3. That's 2 cards for level 2 and 3 cards for level 3. So there's an inherent balance actually to how that works, and that I like, even though you're playing these crazy cards, like first of all, you have to beat my 5 card advantage on you to make
Right.
that back. Right.
Right.
Otherwise I've got more resources straight up because I didn't
Right.
do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, Fascinating, I think.
How many different sword regalias are you playing in these types of decks?
One
And
of
how
the decks,
powerful are those cards?
So one of the decks I like right now, I'm playing 4 swords in the material deck. One sword is 2 of them are commons. One of them's a rare. That's the card that should probably be banned. And then one of them is I think it's actually starter deck exclusive card or whatever. So the cards themselves are powerful stuff because like at the different stages of the game, they're powerful in
Right.
different ways.
Right.
But two of the 2 basic swords that don't cost anything are, one of them just is more powerful if I have no allies. So, and the deck I like to play right now doesn't play a lot of allies to board. Instead, it just tries to do some big attacks, big damage sources for my champion instead. Most of my allies are just sacked to draw cards from another effect. And then the other sword is a sword with an ability called True Sight, which allows it to pierce stealth units, which allows it to get through particular interaction that my opponent might play in the late game. I might go for a big attack, and the opponent can play an instant speed card that gives them stealth for the turn, which is then they just vanish, right? And I can't hit them with that attack. So if I have the Sword of Seeking, the True Sight, then that sort of negates some of those outs to me killing them, which again is like what sort of the end game is about. The other two swords are cards with on-enter effects that I'm just trying to abuse.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, Jim, what do you think about this Spirit Blade Ascension?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is this week's card of the week. Thank you, Main Deck Dan, for Spirit Blade Ascension.